If I told you that something vast, intelligent, and completely hidden has been moving beneath our oceans for decades, would you believe it? Because hundreds of military sonar operators, submarine crews, and deep-sea researchers across the United States have reported the same impossible encounters. Objects that rise from the darkest waters faster than any aircraft on Earth, vanish back into the deep, and track our ships with a precision no human technology can match. Tonight, you're going to hear the story they were never allowed to tell until now. In the United States, conversations about UFOs were always about the sky's strange lights, unexplained shapes, objects that defied physics. But deep inside certain classified Navy circles, the real fear never came from the sky. It came from below. The US Navy quietly kept a different category of encounters, locked behind secure doors. USOs, Unidentified Submerged Objects. Objects seen moving through the cold, crushing black of the ocean depths with intelligence, intention, and speeds that made even the most advanced submarines look like drifting toys. And this story begins with a man who carried the weight of one such encounter for over 30 years, until the moment he realized silence was no longer protecting anyone. Michael Harris had served as a sonar technician aboard the USS Rhode Island, one of America's most formidable ballistic missile submarines. His job was simple: listen. Listen to the ocean, to the quiet hum of life beneath the waves, to the distant engines of other subs, to anything that didn't belong. But on a cold November night off the coast of the North Atlantic, he heard something that would rewrite every assumption he ever had about the deep. It started as a faint vibration, something too rhythmic to be geological, too smooth to be mechanical. Submarines have a signature sound: cavitation, engine hum, propeller resonance. This wasn't that. It was cleaner, almost like a whisper slicing through miles of water with perfect control. At first, Michael thought it was a new Russian drone sub, but then the object changed speed. Not gradually, not like a machine accelerating. It jumped instantly, from 20 knots to more than 200. Inside water, for reference, the fastest submarine on Earth, the Soviet K-222, barely reached 44 knots, and even that nearly tore itself apart. But this thing didn't just accelerate, it maneuvered. It turned in angles that should be impossible underwater without the whole object collapsing under its own force. The crew never visually saw it, they only heard it. But in the pitch-black world of the deep ocean, sound is more revealing than sight. And what they heard wasn't human. Michael marked the coordinates, reported the signature, and watched as his commanding officer's face drained of all color. The CO calmly ordered the logs sealed, the frequencies classified, and the entire crew instructed never to discuss what had happened. It was clear this was not the first time he had seen such a report. Years later, Michael would be told that the Navy had an entire unofficial category for this: phasmovers, objects that exceeded all known underwater propulsion capabilities, tracked our ships, and behaved like they were studying something or someone. But Michael's story wasn't a one-off event. As the years went on, similar reports piled up. A research vessel off the coast of California recorded a metallic sphere dropping from the sky into the ocean without creating any splash, something physically impossible. Sonar operators along the East Coast detected triangular formations moving in synchronized patterns 3,000 meters deep, where no human craft could survive. Even commercial fishermen reported colossal shadows gliding beneath their boats, silent, smooth, intelligent, as if observing. And then came the Catalina Island incident in 2019. A training exercise involving multiple US Navy ships picked up a swarm of USOs, rising from the deep directly beneath their location. These objects then shot upward, not sideways, not diagonally, but straight up, breaching the surface at angles no torpedo or drone could match. Some crew members reported seeing them emerge from the ocean without water displacement, as though the objects simply pushed reality aside. Radar logs confirmed it. Sonar data confirmed it. But every recording was quickly classified. The question wasn't just what these things were, but why they were there. Scientists studying the deep ocean often say, "We know more about the surface of Mars than our own seas." The Mariana Trench is deeper than Mount Everest is tall. Pressure strong enough to crush titanium becomes normal. Complete darkness and near-freezing cold stretch for thousands of miles. Yet something or someone seems to be operating down there with technology far superior to anything we've ever imagined. One theory suggests ancient aquatic civilizations, not mythical mermaids or lost cities, but entire intelligent species that evolved underwater millions of years before humans ever walked the earth. Creatures or beings that mastered gravitational or magnetic propulsion, allowing them to navigate the crushing depths effortlessly. If this is true, then the ocean floor might not just hide species, it might hide structures, hidden bases, outposts, perhaps entire networks of systems designed to remain undetectable by land-based humans. Another theory comes from the Pentagon's now declassified UAP task force reports that these objects move through underwater environments using a form of transmedium propulsion, a technology far beyond anything we possess, something that doesn't care about the difference between air, water, or vacuum, something that moves by bending the environment around it instead of pushing through it. But the most disturbing encounters came from the Arctic in 1973. During an expedition to monitor Soviet submarine activity, an American vessel picked up what they believed was a massive whale. But this whale was cold, dark, metallic, and perfectly spherical. It moved through the ice fields with precision and intelligence, occasionally stopping beneath the ship as if scanning it. When a crew member dropped a hydrophone into the water, the object emitted a low-frequency hum so powerful that it rattled bolts loose on the deck. Then, without warning, it sank deeper and vanished. Decades later, the Pentagon quietly acknowledged this was one of dozens of identical signatures, recorded since the 1960s. Patterns began to emerge. These objects were most frequently detected near deep ocean trenches, tectonic plate boundaries, and areas with unexplored geological structures. Every time humans expanded their technology, deep-sea mining, undersea communication cables, submarine patrol, routes USO, encounters increased. It was as if whatever lived down there was watching us, monitoring how far we were pushing into their territory. In 2020, a whistleblower from the Office of Naval Intelligence revealed that the military had been tracking certain USOs for decades, some of which appeared to follow us carrier groups for hundreds of miles. Not hostile, not aggressive, just observant, curious, as if they were studying our development the same way we study ancient fossils, wondering when or if we would finally understand. But Michael Harris's final revelation came long after he left the Navy. In 2017, he drove to the coast near Norfolk, Virginia, the same region where his submarine first encountered the fast mover. He sat by the shoreline at night, listening to the waves crash softly against the rocks, and then he saw it. a faint glow deep beneath the water. Not bright, not vivid, just a soft, intelligent pulse, falling, as if breathing. The glow drifted slowly, then accelerated in a perfect straight line before vanishing into the black. Michael didn't report it, didn't document it. He simply watched in complete silence. For the first time, he realized something. Maybe these beings weren't hiding because they feared us. Maybe they were hiding because they understood something we didn't. Something about the ocean. Something about Earth. Something about our future. Some experts suggest these underwater intelligences might not be native to Earth at all, but instead using the oceans as the perfect cover. After all, if you wanted to observe a planet without being detected, where better to hide than beneath miles of water where humans rarely explore? Others propose a darker possibility, that they've been here longer than us. Much longer, that humanity might not be the dominant species on this planet, that we are simply the latest to rise to the surface, while something older, wiser, and far more advanced continues its silent existence below. As the years go on and technology improves, more whistleblowers step forward. Navy pilots, submarine commanders, marine biologists, they all describe the same thing. Structured craft, impossible maneuverability, silence, precision, intelligence. No propulsion. No cavitation, no signatures, just movement that defies physics. And yet, despite all this, no one in authority gives answers. Perhaps they don't have any. Perhaps the truth is bigger than governments, bigger than nations, bigger than the entire concept of secrecy. Perhaps the reason we've never made contact is because we aren't the ones being avoided. We're the ones being observed, quietly, patiently, from the depths. So now the question is not simply, do aliens live beneath our oceans? The real question is, if they do, what are they waiting for? And even more unsettling, what happens the day they finally decide to come up?